It looks like he has Shinty all over it. He's so ugly. Growing up, I was one of those kids who always dreamed of getting a letter and going to Hogwarts, or finding a door to a parallel fantasy world. Spoiler alert, that never happened. But now, instead of going, I get to create pieces of these words and bring them into my life. This time, the magical object I'm gonna add to my collection is...
Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu!
It's the Sorting Hat! To avoid wasting foam by trial and error, I started by making a template out of cardboard. Once satisfied with my template, I transferred it on 5mm thick EVA foam. Wow, it fits perfectly. The best way to glue two pieces of foam together is to use contact glue. It works by spreading a layer of glue on both surfaces, letting it dry for 10 minutes, and then putting them together. You can see me wearing a mask because smells make me easily sick, but at that point I hadn't seen anywhere that contact glue was toxic enough to require one. To create the folds, I used foam clay, which is a squishy elastic clay that dries in 24 hours and becomes like normal foam. Good morning! So, this is what we have so far. It's a bit too big. Once I had my dose of silliness, I tried to carve it a little bit to accentuate the shape. I can't see anything. I went too deep. I also sanded the edges to make them more rounded and natural. I'm grey, dabby-dee-dabby-day. Once that was done, I wanted to cover it with 2mm foam to make it look like one piece of fabric. I had no idea how to proceed. I finally decided to use contact glue and try to gradually apply the 2mm foam. Sadly, I am out of contact glue, so I'll have to go shopping. I'm back. It stinks. It was actually the first time I used such a large amount, and the unbearable smell got me suspicious. The glue package said nothing about wearing a mask, but Google told me otherwise. It is in fact toxic to breathe while not cured, so I decided to wear a proper mask and do it outside in the garden to preserve both my husband and my cat. I had forgotten that our doorknob was broken, and therefore our door wasn't usable. It couldn't open anymore, so the garden wasn't an option. The only other possible way was to do it in front of our building entrance, which meant basically on the street in plain sight. Once it was dry, I brought it back inside to assemble it. For this second piece, I used my heat gun to help it take the right shape. I also used foam clay to cover the junction to make it better, and I forgot to film myself while doing it. Sorry. But I added foam behind the eyes and the mouth to make it hollower than if I left the 2mm foam but still filled with something. I then took a small piece of 2mm foam to create this very worn piece of fabric. I cut it and carved it to make it rough and then attached it with contact glue. For the straps wrapped around the base of the hat, I used a strip of 2mm foam cut in half and sanded its edges. For a small amount of glue like this, wearing a mask and opening windows was enough. I didn't have to go outside. Since the base of the hat was too flat, I used my heat gun to give it a more twisted shape. For the straps hanging from the hat on each side, I used leftovers of leather that my grandmother gave me a long time ago. It was now time to paint it. I had a can of Plastidip, which I heard was a good primer for this kind of foam projects, but I had never used that before. And it was not a good experience. I don't know if it's because I wasn't using it properly, or if the one I had bought was defective, but it was dripping everywhere. At some point, I gave up and I went back to my good old acrylics. Before I show you the final results, I wanted to thank you for watching my video. As always, I really appreciate it. And I really hope I'm gonna see you for another one. Bicycle. Bye.